and welcome to ESO Daily. I'm your host, Mr. Craven. All right, so I have a new Stamplar PvP build to deliver. Now, I don't know if there are similar builds out there because, disclaimer, I don't watch a lot of YouTubers. So, me and one of my friends was talking about one of the sets. I made a couple arrangements and I just put together what I found to be probably some of the best combos for the Stamplar PvP build. So this is a Stamina Templar PvP build. Once again, really love this build. This is called Lethal Injection, and it's it's pretty foul. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really like it. I'm kind of weak when it comes to Stamplar PvP, but this build really kind of is. It's going to be easy for a lot of players to pick up. That's why I really like this build. So if you're a player who's tired of playing Sorc PvP, tired of playing Nightblade PvP, you want to try to dabble in something else, but you want to be productive, trust you and me, this build will help you along your way. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into the character sheet here. So this is a bow dual wield build. I will be making an update with this when Somerset releases, but for now, the build's going to stand as it is. So you're going to go ahead and see my max magic is at 10,335. Max health while you're in Cyrodiil or in Battlegrounds is going to be 24,427. Stamina will drop, I believe, a little bit in BGs, but maybe not. But it's 32,230. Really nice. Really nice. Stamina recovery, 1899. That will drop in Battlegrounds, but in Cyrodiil, it stands. So really nice. Weapon crits, 41.8. Spell resistance, 14,697. Physical resistance, 14,124. But that's prior to my buff. I will be getting into that. To the left, you're going to go ahead and see everything's been allocated into stamina. We are using Dubious Kimura Throne. I wouldn't suggest any other one just because I'm a red guard. With the race, it doesn't have as much sustain as Bosner. Bosner can sometimes get away with, a couple different foods. Like Nightblade use Jewels of Misrol or Dubious Kimura Throne. But Dubious Kimura Throne is really good for sustain. So it really comes in handy. And, of course, we're going to be using Lover Mundus. Why? We want that penetration. Okay? Okay, now on the dual wield side, you're not going to see much change hardly at all, right? Except weapon crit drops a little bit. I will explain why that is. But stamina recovery does go up to 2031. Okay, really nice here. Okay, so let's get into the sets and tell you guys what I'm rocking here. I'm going to be using Sheer Venom. It's probably one of my most favorite sets for PvP. It really is. It's just a really awesome set. It's just so controllable. It comes in so handy. So on the dual wield side, you'll only see that I have 4, but when I switch out, now that's why I'm going to be making a change because of the changes to the dual wields. But when I go to the bow side, now you're going to see what I'm at that, 5 piece. So if anybody who's not familiar with what Sheer Venom is, you get this in ICP. It gives you stamina, weapon damage. When you deal damage with an execute ability, that's Poison Injector. It's considered an execute. You infect the enemy with poison, dealing 11,137 over 6 seconds. Pretty foul. It's pretty gross. The other set I'm going to be using is the Ravager set. Now, this set isn't always good on a lot of classes, but for the Stamplar, yeah, this is a pretty nasty set. Now, disclaimer, it is a heavy armor set, so you really do want to get the weapons, jewelry, and a couple of the heavy pieces. I'll get into it, but as you can see, the bow is sharpened with increase. That's ideal. You want it sharpened increase. Very important. The maul. Keep in mind that maces ignore 20% of your target's physical resistance. That's relevant. We want to utilize that for the passive, so that's why you want a maul. You want a two-handed mace. This because why we're getting penetrating value, that allows us to go with the Nirnhone, and since we are using Ravager, any damage. Okay, so Ravager is going to give us critical, it's going to give us max health, weapon damage. When I deal melee damage, I have an 8% chance to increase weapon damage by 622 for 10 seconds. I want the poison on this side just in case to get away. right? So when I weave up heavy, it just applies the other poison, just to add other effects to it. If you want to go with disease, you can. So disease is a really good enchantment for PvP as well. I just went with the poison. So I went with the increase on this. Typically I put poison on this, but I wanted the increase on this side. Then I put the poison on this side. So it's usually reverse, went opposite with this build. Okay. All right. So there you guys have it. So Slime Crawl, I'm also going to be using Slime Crawl. Keep in mind, Ravager has 1 crit value piece to it. Slime Crawl is going to give me additional weapon crit. So it's going to increase my critical. One thing that the Nightblade has over most other classes is what? Minor Berserk. Slime Crawl gives me that. Right? So I'm going to utilize it to get my critical value and get the minor berserk. That increases my damage by 8%. Right? So really nice. This is medium. So it's a 5-2 config. So 5 medium, 2 heavy. So Slime Crawl medium, infuse, stamina, ideal. Ravager Cuirass, infuse, stamina, ideal. Okay. Shoulders of Slime Crawl's arm cops, impen, stamina, ideal. Okay, so that's medium. That's medium. You'll see this is heavy, and my legs are going to be heavy. Waist, medium. Sheer Venom, impen, ideal. Braces of Sheer Venom, divine. I want 1 piece of divine. If you don't, well, just for the extra penetration. If you want to go with the well-fitted, you can do that. I would suggest either impen, divine, or well-fitted, but I don't want 1 piece of divine. Okay, so that's ideal. Legs of Ravager Greaves, infused, ideal. So my 2 biggest pieces are going to be my my legs and my chest are my heavy pieces. Why? I'm getting more resistance out of those pieces, more armor rating. So you'll notice that the armor rating is 2,341, 2,676. It just ups my armor rating. Okay, so 2 big pieces of armor rating for the legs and the chest. Infused, both ideal. Boots of Sheer Venom, well fitted. I put a Magicka glyph on, just have a little extra Magicka. If you want to stay with stamina, you can. I just wanted a little bit more, so I went with the Magicka. Ravager necklace. A lot of changes going to be coming up with Somerset. I will be changing this. Currently, I have 2. They are healthy. It's okay. But they are all they're both glyphed with recovery, and then 1 ring of Sheer Venom robust with recovery. Okay, so 3 recoveries. Why? Once again, I'm a red guard. I'm not a Bosner. I don't have that sustain. I'm not using Bone Pirates. I want to maintain that. All right, so once again, Ravager, keep in mind, 622 weapon damage. This procs a lot on Stamplar. I'm talking a lot on Stamplar. It's crazy. Really, really love it. Let's get into the skills. Okay, bow side. This is why it's called Lethal Injection. If anybody wants to know why I call this Lethal Injection, let me get into exactly why I'm calling this Lethal Injection. Power of Light, right? I'm going to set it, right? It's going to deal 3,987 physical damage, and it copies all the damage they take for 6 seconds, releasing 20% of it as a physical damage. So they're going to get hit with 3,987, and then on top of it, guess what ends up happening? It copies damage. With that being said, hit them with the poison injector. Power of Light, follow up poison injector. Once I hit them with the poison injector, it's going to deal direct. It's going to deal dot, but guess, yeah, that's right. I'm also infecting them with, yeah, that's right, the Sheer Venom. So they're going to get this added to it. So basically, they now have 3 damage types being applied to them within 2 hits. Really, really disgusting. Really like it. And then I'm just going to throw out the Binding Javelin on top. So 1, 2, 3 combo. If they live, I gap close, jab them to death, proc in the Ravager, and usually finish them off. Really, it's nice. I love it. I can kill them with these 3. Just these 3 kills them. But some people ask, well, how do you kill them with 3-hit combo? Well, that's a really good question, because of Burning Light procs, it's going to deal 4,138. So I have a 25% chance when I deal damage with an Adder's Spear ability to proc this, right? And it can happen every 0.5 seconds. So this can literally be a spammable while this is lit up and they're friggin' infected. So it's like literally I stand in place and then just I can range them if I have to, gap close and just do it. It's really, really lovely. I love it. 3-hit combo. It can kill them. And if they cleanse, what's really nice, if they cleanse, okay, so if they have cleansing ritual, which only takes away 2, power of light is usually the first one, so that will still resolve. So usually the sheer venom and the poison ejector will be removed. So think of it, Magic the Gathering. The last on the stack resolves first on the counter. So usually whatever you play last, if it's countered, it comes off the top of the stack. So this is the last on the stack, so it's removed first. Power of light isn't. It's the last one on the stack. So that's how you have to take a look at it. Really love it, love it, love it. Resolving Vigor, no surprise. I'm going to be using Restoring Focus. Restoring Focus, really nice if whether I'm standing still and ranging them, or if I'm going to gap close, because it's going to give me 8 seconds even if I move. So as long as I'm standing in it, I'm getting Major Ward and Major Resolve, right? Plus it's increasing in the minor Vitality and the minor protection, increasing my healing received by 8%, reducing the damage I take by 8%. If I leave, I have 8 seconds after I leave it. So I have 8 seconds to maintain those buffs. So once again, you take a look at my character sheet prior, we're at 14 and 14, drop the Restoring Focus, go in, boom, 19.4, 19.9, almost 20k on one and 19 on physical. Really, really nice. Love it, love it, love it. And of course, sometimes I get zerged down a lot. A lot of people know me in Battlegrounds, so I'm a target. It really sucks when I'm trying to learn a new class, so I'm going to use Remembrance, right? So this gives me another healing effect for me and my party members, plus I get the major protection while I'm channeling. Okay, dual wield side, or two-handed side. Stampede. The one aspect that I love about Stampede is I'm going to be using Biting Jabs. Biting Jabs will apply a speed reduction after the final strike. That reduced 70%, but I don't want them getting away. The last thing I want them to do is run away from my Biting Jabs. Hence why I'm going to use the Stampede. Once I hit them, their movement speed reduced by 60%. That's always a critical, right? Biting Jabs is also going to give me major savagery. That's going to up my crit chance up to about 50, about around 48 something, 50. That's really nice. I love it. So great, perfect. But once again, final strike, reduce. It's an AoE effect, so I can even hit more than one person while I'm jabbing them. So as soon as I go ahead and I lay this down and I go ahead and hit my forward momentum, I have 8 seconds on both counts to go ahead, gap close, to do my job if I'm going to gap close. So I got to be quick. I'm going to take advantage of it. Okay, so there's that. Reverse Slice, just finisher. If they live through all the onslaught, trust you and me, Reverse Slice comes in handy. It's better than Execute, in my opinion. Why? Because 83% of the damage will apply to other targets. So if there's nearby enemies, they're going to take 83% of the damage I deal to the main target. Really, really like this ability on top of the Biting Jabs. AoEs all day long. Okay, forward momentum. I use forward momentum. If you don't want to use forward momentum and you want to use rally, have at it. I like forward momentum. Once again, I go over this. Activating this ability removes all snares and immobilizations and grants immunity to them for 5 seconds. Right? That's really good. So it removes the CC. When it's active, I get immunity from that. So I really like this a lot better. On top of that, I'm using Repentance. So once I kill him, I get another healing effect. So I have Resolving Vigor, I have Forward Momentum, then I have the Repentance. That's why my recovery is higher on the two-hander side. So really like that. Wild Sodded giving me the Minor Fortitude, Minor Endurance, and Minor Intellect. That increases all my recovery by 10%. So once they die, Repentance the corpse, get a healing effect, and I'm getting a stamina resource gain. So if you're not going to use Repentance, and let's say you use a cleanse, then I would say go ahead with the rally. But since I'm using Repentance and I have this ability, so let me show you guys something. Before I put down my Restoring Focus, Resolving Vigor only heals for 10,380, right? Hit this down, go back in. Now I'm getting 11,000. Okay, so I'm getting a couple hundred more. That also applies to my forward momentum healing effect. Okay, add that with Repentance and Remembrance. I have enough heals. But if you want to use rally, have at it. I just like to keep immunity. I just enjoy it. Just my play style. Dawnbreaker of Smiting. No surprise. CC effect, dot effect. Then you get that nice passive in the Fighters Guild, which increases your weapon damage by 3%. Really comes in handy. Really, really nice. And that is how the skills are laid out. If you don't want to use Reverse Slice and you want to go with like a Cleanse, I will tell you guys this. Cleanse on this build is optional. So I do have it unlocked. So I have Cleansing Ritual. It hasn't been morphed. But if you want to go ahead with the Cleanse, especially if you're getting Haunting Cursed, if you're getting a lot of dots applied, Cleansing Ritual will come in handy. If you don't want to use like Repentance and you want to slot it, go for it. If you don't want to use your finisher and you want to use Cleansing Ritual, go for it. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. Okay? It's up to your play style. Alright. Now, let's go ahead and get into the champion points really quick. We'll start off with the Apprentice. Bless, I'm going to take up to 6.17 since I am healing myself. Okay? We're going to put 75 points into the Astronaut to get that passive in the Butcher because we will be weaving along with using our abilities. So, Physical Weapon Expert, 9.17. Master Arms, 21.18. Now, I do have a lot that, with the Biting Jabs, that scales off of, it's like a, it scales off Thaumaturge. But, once again, I'm using Spears, and I'm using Power of Light. That scales Mastered Arms. Okay? So, and I just want that Butcher passive. That's why it's up so high. Okay? It's because typically you want Thaumaturge up there higher with the Biting Jabs. But Thaumaturge is set at 17.17. Why? Because I'm putting more into the Mighty at 1208. That's going to scale both direct and dot effects. So I'm going to take that up to 1208. Piercing, I'm going to take it 3508. Keep in mind, with Power of Light, we're getting Minor Breach. So we have a Minor Breach, we have the Lover Mundus, we have the Maul, we have the Sharpened Bow. That allows us to take this down just a little bit, but we want to make sure we have the penetration value there, regardless. Okay, coming over to the Warrior, Ironclad 14.14, Resistance 1203. None of this will apply in Battleground, so this is just the aspect for Cyrodiil. Medium Armor Focus is at 22, Hardy is at 43, split with Elemental Defender, Thick Skin 13, Quick Recovery. I like to increase my healing received, especially since I'm healing myself, so we're going to put that at 37 points allocated. Warlord is at 10.22, Sprinter 1210, Siphoner, I'm going to be weaving, right? Light and heavy attacks in between as much as possible, so I'm going to reduce their recovery by 812 when I hit them for 3 seconds. Tenacity, if I'm going to go ahead and weave, I might as well, try to regain up some of that resources, so 909. If you don't want to put in Tenacity, you want to bank a little bit more from Siphoner, be my guess. Mooncraft is at 14%. Healthy is at 6.17. Coming over to the Shadow, we have 13.13 into Tumbling. So I dodge roll a lot. Try to avoid as much as possible. And that is how the champion points are allocated. I'm telling you guys, I'm not the strongest when it comes to the Stamplar. I'm not. But this build is a lot of fun. It deals a shitload amount of damage. And literally, I can just kill people with the three hit combo and a bow. It's really nice. I'm not going to lie to you. It's really kick-ass. I have a lot of fun with it. So, there you guys have it. This is Poison Lethal Injection. So, once again, I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a blast. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. All right. If you have any questions or comments, post below. Once again, I'm Mr. Craven, the CSO Daily. And as always, have a nice day.